Qigong. Very cool. We're just going to go back to this exercise first. We just warm ourselves up a bit for our rotations. So we'll go back to this and do this for a second. So we talked a little bit about this exercise too, about how you can, we're spiraling off both feet. So I'm turning on one leg and then go across, I'm turning the other one. And what we're doing today is you're rotating off both legs at the same time. But this exercise it teaches you how to do on one side. Rotate on one side, you go across, rotate on the other side. So this is important, especially when it comes to martial arts as well, especially with Taiji, because it's all about martial arts. You're learning how to move off one leg. But the Qigong, because it's not martial, we can stay double weighted and turn off both legs because it's not a martial. Because standing double weighted on both legs martially is not a good thing, because you're basically stuck. You're stuck between the 2 feet. I'll explain that a little bit more what I mean by stuck. I'll go back to this exercise. So if we're on one side, we're fully weighted on one leg, I have this foot's pretty well free to do what it likes. It can step back, it can step forward, it can do what it likes, step to the side. You can do that if you're on one leg, yeah? If I'm on the other leg, then I can move this leg, whatever I want to do, back, and I can step. So I can move any time, I can do anything I like because I have one on the ground, but at the other one I can just step back easy. But when you're double weighted, you've got both weight on the ground. You can't move like this. Well, you can, you'd have to jump, but you can't actually move to get off this posture without, if I bend down, I can jump backwards with 2 feet, I could jump forward, I could jump to the side if I want to with 2 feet, but normally you don't move like that. So to get off a double weighted posture, you're going to have to move onto one side so you can move the other leg. You have to take the weight off the leg, because if there's weight on it, you can't lift it off the ground, because you can't lift the leg off if there's weight on it, because you're sitting on it. So you've got to change weight to move the leg. So martially, there's this whole delay goes on from if somebody's going to strike you, from the time the strike comes, I move the weight, and then I've got to step. There's a lot of time frame involved in how long that takes you to move before to intercept the incoming punch or kick or whatever it is. But Qigong, of course, we're not defending ourselves. We can stand on double weight, and we can sit in this posture in the middle of this double weightedness, because we're not having to move. We're quite happy. We're not in a place where we're going to run. Otherwise, we'd have to go to one side. So that's why the martial arts teach you how to turn off one foot, because to move, you have to be on one leg. You've got to unload the other leg to move. Otherwise, you can't move. Yep, which is logical. But Qigong, of course, we're not defeating anything. So we can fully power down on 2 legs and not know where to have to move. So that's why it's very, very different. Yeah. So just go back to that one again, because we're warming this up again. I'm going to do a different one in a second. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is stop the rotation from side to side and just stop in the middle, and then just rotate from the middle. Rotate from the center column. Now don't think of anything at this stage. Just think of doing your hips backwards and forwards. Don't think of the thing we talked about last week. Just rotate backwards and forwards. And this will probably be done with more muscles than anything else, unless you learn how not to do that. Otherwise, you're just using your muscles to do this. That's fine. We just want to warm the hips up, warm the rotation up, warm the movement, all the ligaments and tendons that are involved in this movement from turning to one side. Oh, this movement, with what we're doing, this rotation, that movement there from the side of the body to the other side through your hip area, uses more muscles and more tendons and ligaments than any other movement in the whole body. There's more muscles and ligaments attached to the top of our legs and to our torso and to the front and to the back through the glutes. There's more muscles attached to this functional of that moving. There's more things engaged than doing with the arms. You've only got a few things around your arms. One arm, you've only got 2 things, but you've got all this energy around your hips, and it's all engaging to do that. It's the most powerful thing we do in our body. We have more power in this movement than anything else. And there's more muscles and ligaments engaged in it as well. Of course, we're trying to work out how to do it energetically. We're not even engaging the muscles, and we're not engaging the ligaments and tendons. We're just moving energetically. The energy is moving us from side to side, and the muscles and the ligaments are just relaxed. They're just hanging. And you're just moving from side to side, and they're not engaged at all. And the muscles in the legs are not engaged. They're all just soft, and they're just moving, and the energy is moving you. Yep. So I'm just giving you an example of what that looks like. Yep, so the energy moves. So part of that is the practice. The more we do this practice, the more the muscles will let go, and the more long friction is. So when we normally move from this posture, to go from one side to the other, ligaments and tendons will actually hold on, and then they'll stretch one side, then they'll let go, and the other ones pull on the other side, and you pulls you across, and then they let go, and then the muscles pull you across, and they go tight, and then the muscles let go, and so they have this whole release and attachment going on with the muscles and the ligaments, where they engage, they disengage, they engage, they disengage to do this movement. So there's a lot of movement inside the body's physical aspect of the body to do this exercise. And as I say, and the more you do this, and the more you practice, that's why it's in such a lot of Tai Chi forms and such a lot of Qigong exercise forms. Why the more you do this, the more you're training your body and training the muscles to get less and less involved with it. And they get less and less involved because the energy starts moving it, and then the muscles start to relax more, relax more, relax more, until you get to the stage where you can move from side to side. And there's no engagement of muscles, ligaments, or tendons at all. The energy is just moving you backwards and forwards, and everything's relaxed. There's nothing tight. Your bum muscles, everything's floppy, everything's fluffy. There's nothing tight. It's just moving. And when we do a live practice, you'll see that. And when you hold, you can hold my hips, and you can feel when I move from side to field, you feel nothing engaged. It just moves really, really. It's like this fluid piece of nothing that's moved, because there's nothing engaging and letting go. It's not engaging and releasing. There's nothing happening. I'm just turning from one side, and all the ligaments and tendons, they're stretching in and out, but there's no tension. There's no engagement of them. They're just moving in and out without any engagement. I'm not utilizing any of them to make the movement. I'm using the energy to do it, and then all they're doing is just letting go. Yep. And so you get to feel that. And it's a weird feeling. And I know I can do it now, but I remember touching senior students of the school and moving their hips and go, whoa, look at that, there's just nothing. And then you could move them like this and they just flop around. And you go, that's bizarre. And I know now my hips are the same. You can feel it and you can just move it, and there's no, you could move me back flat out like that and the body just goes like that, because there's nothing engaged that's interfering with that. So we're back to the energy. So I'll go back to the center column. So we start with our center column. Remember, it goes from the barkway and comes out hu yin, which is between our genitals and our anus, and it goes into the ground. And we're looking at the cable, we're making it about that fat. Yeah, it's about that big. And it comes in the top of your head, goes all the way through your center column, and comes out through hu yin into the ground. It's like a fireman's pole almost. We can have a smaller one, so you can have like a pipe. And from that point, and all you're doing is rotating on the point, and the pole's stationary, and you're sliding around the pole. Yep. Different way of thinking about it. The pole's stationary, and you're sliding, and around the outside of the pole, you're lubricated. The pole's all lubricated, and you're sliding around the pole, but the pole's not moving. Yep. Try that one first. We'll have a go at that one. So feel what that feels like. Now you'll feel your head string and your grounding really strong, because it's not moving. It's connected to the ground, connected to heaven. And it's not moving, but you're sliding around the pole. Yeah? Moving around the pole. Good. So it has a certain feel to it and a certain energetic to what that feels like. Now we're going to instantly change it and stop. Stop before you change it. Now stop. Now this time the pole moves as well. The pole and you move at the same time. So the pole's moving with you. So the pole's not static anymore. The pole's moving as you go. So feel what that feels like. So the pole's rotating with you. Yep, just feel what that feels like. Good. And then stop. And go back having the pole rigid, the fixed pole, and then you move around the outside of the pole, but the pole's rigid, the pole doesn't move. Try that again. Now, it's a very different sensation, isn't it? Now, I don't need to confirm. I already know that it's different. You'll be feeling it's a different, because you've changed your intention, the focus is different, and the way you move feels different as well. And you'll be noticed that the different movement of your hip, different movement of your shoulder, because of the rigidity of the pole. Yep. Good. So good. So now we put the bearing, the big bearing around our hips. So it's right out here by our waist, right through the daimai, I mean, and goes around there. And the band is attached to your body, and you're moving around like that, and the whole band, and you're moving around the bearing, and the bearing and you are moving together. There's lots of different pieces to this. We're going to change it in a second. So you and the bearing are moving from side to side. Yeah, it's like a hula hoop, but the hula hoop stuck to your hips, and it's part of your hips, and the whole thing's moving, and you're moving. Yeah, good. So see what that feels like. And you want to try and keep this bearing around your center as stable as possible. Don't get it going up at one side and down the other. Make sure it just goes around in a horizontal plane. So there's no fluctuation, so it's really smooth. Good. Now leave the bearing on the outside, the steel piece on the outside, that's like a barrel, and you're attached to the bearing on the inside. Now when you move, but the steel rim around the outside of you, the bearing on the outside doesn't move, and you're moving on the inside of it. But the steel bar is still there, it's still around there. It's like sitting in a barrel, and you're moving, but the outside of the barrel's not. Or the ring around the barrel's not, if you understand what a bearing is. So you're moving on the inside. Good. Now, think of the round by close to your skin is the other piece of metal, and there's ball bearings around your metal and the rim around the outside, and it's just like a proper bearing. They've got the ball bearings around you. So your ring that's around you is moving inside the round ring that's not moving. The round ring's around the outside, and you're at a round ring around your tummy, and they're moving. And of course, there's the friction that's happening but what's happening is the ball bearings are moving, and so that the inside ring can move, but the outside ring doesn't move, but the inside ring does. And you're doing that. Just feel what that feels like. Good. Good. Now go back to your center pole. That's the center column. Have a pipe going down your center column. Now, as you move, the ring that you're attached to around your tummy and the center column is the same thing, like a top. So the whole thing's going to move, and the center column's going to move, but you're still inside the ring. The outer ring doesn't move, but the inner ring's going to move, and you're like a top spinning, but the pole's moving. The pole's moving, and you're moving with the ring around your body, but the outer ring doesn't move, so you're sliding inside it. And what that ring on the outside does, gives you stability, so you don't rock around, because it keeps you locked into that place. Yeah, and turn with your center column and your body's linked, is locked together. Good, perfect. Getting complex now, isn't it? It's going to get more complex. Cool. Now stop. Now have the center column, where the center column is stuck, because we were always moving, it's stuck, and you're moving around the center column. So the center column goes down and it's stuck. The outside ring is stuck, but your bearing in the inside is going around. So you're sliding around the center column in the middle and around the bearing in the outside. Yep. So the bearing on the outside is locked, the column in the middle is locked, and you're sliding in the middle of it. And feel what that feels like. They're all different. They're all different experiences. Now you can use all of these martially, because they all represent different ways the body moves. And you can use it the way you move energy and the way you move yourself. Yep. And you can just feel the difference. They all feel very different. They all have a different character. And they all come in, the energetic movements coming from a different place in all of them as well. Good. We'll stop that one. So you see they're all different. Okay, we're going to take the rim. We're going to take the rim out to it's 2 meters either side of you. 2 meters in the front, 2 meters to the side. Yep. Now, we're going to move the rim. We're going to be attached like we're the center of a wheel. Well, I don't want you to put spokes in though. We're just attached to the rim. Energetically, we're attached to the rim. And when we turn, the rim turns like that. And we're all turning. Don't worry about the center column at this stage. We're just turning from the rim. The rim's turning, we're all turning. And feel what that feels like. Now you're going to feel that it moves slower, because there's a bigger area to move, yeah? If it goes really fast, the thing's going to have a lot of momentum. Yeah. So we have that rim spinning around, and it's going whatever speed you're going. But remember, we're just going from side to side, so have that idea of that. Good. Now, I want you to take the idea of that to stop first, though, before we change it. Stop each time, otherwise the body gets confused about the next intention. Now, go out 10 meters either side, 10 meters in the front, 10 meters behind. That could go right through your wall of your house. Don't worry about that. We're energetic beings. We can do what we like. And go out 10 meters, and the rim's out there 10 meters all the way around us, but we're attached to the rim. And as the rim turns, we turn with it. Now, you'll notice now you're going to slow down a little bit, because otherwise it's going so fast, you're going to throw yourself out. And now you're turning, and you're going, remember, we're going from 10 o'clock, or just 10:30 to 1:30. That's the rotation we're doing. We're not going all the way to 3 o'clock and all the way to 9 o'clock. We're only going to the quarters. Yep. If the north was in front of us, we're going to the northwest and we're going to the northeast. Yep. We're just doing that. On a clock, we're doing 12's in the middle. We're going 10:30 one and 1:30 the other. And have it out 10 meters. And as you say, you're going to notice it goes slower, because when your mind's out there, it doesn't turn that fast, because it's a lot more distance. Good. Okay, and then stop in the center. Go 20 meters out. You know where we're going with this one. Go 20 meters out. Actually, no, go 50 meters out. 50 meters either side. So we're 100 meters either way, and we're in the middle of it. 100 meters forward and backwards, and the rim and you are fixed together. Now turn. 10:30, 1:30. Now, 50 meters out, it's turning quite fast out there, isn't it? Because you're not turning very much in the middle, but outside there we're turning really quickly. Yes? And it's turning really fast. Now, if you've ever done this in school, as most people have, where you've linked arms and you've got two groups of people either side, and the people in the middle are turning around, and you're linked arms, and the ones on the outside are running, and the ones in the middle are just going slowly like this, but all the ones that are linked in their arms all the way out to the side, the ones out there are running flat out and their feet are flying up and they're trying to keep up with it. Yep. And if the ones in the middle, we've done this in class, if the ones in the middle go faster, the ones in there can't keep track of that, because they're just going to fly off. Yep. So we know that to move the outside, to keep in control of it, we're going to have to go slower. So we want to go a kilometer, 1,000 meters, either way. 1,000 meters to the front, 1,000 meters behind. It's a round ring. And that energetic field that's in there, we're attached to that, and we're all moving at the same thing. So then feel it moving. And we're going from the 10:30 and they're a kilometer out and go back. Now, how it's going pretty out there, 1,000 meters going pretty quick. If you go fast, if you go slow, it doesn't move so fast. But if you go fast, if I go like that, it's going very quickly. And have the idea of what that feels. But slow down and feel the volume of the power of it. Feel how much power's in that big thing turning, and the power of it when it comes back. It's slow, but it has a lot of power, a lot of density. There's a lot of energy inside that piece. So it's moving slow, but you could make it move fast if you want to. You know, you just have to move your hips faster and it's going to go quicker. And we're moving like that. So that's what that feels like. Yep. Now, I want you to stand. We're on a planet, right? We're on the planet Earth, round planet Earth. Not flat Earth, round planet Earth. And we're sitting on the top. And if you go a long way out from where you're sitting, you're going to go outside the curvature of the planet. So your room's going to be out there in space, right? It's going to be the curvature of the planet looks like this. You're this little tiny thing, but your room's going to be right out. So we're going to take our room way out into space. From that end, it's going to go straight across. The planet's sitting underneath you. And you're the highest point of the planet, wherever you are in the world. Don't worry about it. You're the highest point right here. I'm the apex of the planet. I'm like the North Pole, but I'm not. But understand the principle. You're right at the very apex of your planet, because you can't be anywhere else. Wherever you are in your life, you're at the top of your planet. Even if you're underneath it, you're still at the top. You're at the very, very juncture where it curves away from you, because you're standing in the middle of it. You're the piece in the middle of it. You are the very center of it. So project your rim right out so it actually goes out into space. And then sitting on the planet, on the top of the very, very top of the planet, on the apex of the planet, wherever you are in the world, because it doesn't matter where it is, it's your apex, not anybody else's. Nobody else can be in yours. Good. Go outside the planet. Good. And then turn it. And you'll be able to feel it. Now you'll feel the power of this. Go around to about the 10, 10:30, or we'll go to the northeast or northwest, then go back to the northeast. And just feel it moving. Now it's going pretty quick, isn't it? On the outside edge of that, it's going very fast. But where you are, you're going very slow, but the outside edge is going very quickly. But what you can do is you can feel the power of it, the magnitude of it, the density of it, the energy that comes with the whole thing tuning. There's a power that comes with that. And you're generating the power from your center is generating the power of the movement of that whole thing. Remember, it's also moving behind you, even though you're not looking that way, but it's moving as you turn. It turns behind you as well. The whole thing is turning. And you're moving from side to side. Good. All we're doing is focusing on the outside of the rim at this stage. We're moving the outside of the rim and through space. And just be aware of how much your mind can hold, how fast you're going on the outside of the edge, how quick it's going. We're doing the rotation of the whole planet, of a whole day, just by one turn. Going from the sunrise there, the sunset there instantly. 24 hours in about 2 seconds. Very cool. Good. And I want you to leave it out there. No, I don't want you to leave it out there. Bring it all the way back so it's just around your waist again. The rim's just around your waist and you're attached to it still. And then turn it again, go to the 10:2, and notice how different it is to turn it. Yeah. And how free it is and how easy. When the other one's this huge mass to turn, now it's just really simple because it's just out here. It's just out here spinning around. Cool. You got that idea. Good. So that's how big it can get that way. Now it can get really small the other way. Now we alluded to this a little bit the other day. We'll go back to it again. So now have the center column about the width of your finger. The roundness of your finger is about your either there of your center column. Coming from heaven, through your body, out through Huyin, into the earth. Now I want you to rotate around that, but when you turn, you're turning around it, and I want you to be locked with the center column. I don't want it to be free-flowing. You and the center column are moving together, so you're connected together. Like that. And then move from side to side with the finger. And you can, if you want, you put your finger on your bark on top of your head and go from 10:2, feeling that movement. And it's rotating around that point. Very good. Now you'll notice that when it gets smaller, it seems to have more energy. It moves easier. Yeah, the smaller it is. When it's bigger, it moves slower. But when it's really small, it seems to move a lot easier, a lot more freer to move. Good. I want you to have it the thickness of a pencil. Your head string, thickness of a pencil through your body, out through Huyin into the ground, thickness of a pencil, a round pencil. Not a hexagon pencil, a round pencil. And the pencil is still connected to you, so it's not flowing from free flowing, you're connected to it. And as you turn, you're connected to the pencil, but the pencil is turning. Now feel how easy it is to move the body with just that small amount of center column, and how easy it is to move the body from that one point. Very good. Now you know what's coming. Mark's already worked out what's going to happen next, don't you? One hair. I can't use the hair on my head, but a hair thickness, straight hair thickness, coming in through barkway on top of your head and straight through your body into the ground, and it's only a thickness of a hair. You could use it like a really, really strong wire, but it's taut. And then you're going to move from, and you're going to rotate from the string, and your body's attached to the wire, and as the wire turns, you turn with it. Just stay with that process. Just the thickness of a wire in your center column, and you're moving around and you're rotating around it. And your whole body and your whole mass is touching the wire. It's connected to the wire. There's no separation. It's not spinning around by itself. Your body's connected to the wire. So as the wire turns, your whole body turns because of the wire turn, or the hair. The hair thickness is turning your whole body, and your body's attached to the hair. There's no separation. It's all one piece. Very good. And you'll notice that it's easier again. But the smaller it is, the easier it is for the movement. The movement on the outside is either when it's driven from a very fine source. Right, so this is the other piece, the last piece we're going to do today. I want to take you the outside rim, take it from around your waist and take the outside rim back out into space again on the horizontal plane, sitting on top of the planet. You're on top of the planet and your horizontal plane's going out and you're sitting on top of the planet. Goes out into space. Good. And then I want you to move it with the hair and rotate with the hair. Good. And stop. Now your experience of that will be unique to yourself, how you felt that. You might find your mind coming in and out trying to hold that, but it'd be okay with it. Remember, it's out in space, a hair, and the hair is turning. It's turning you and it's turning the rim. And it's all connected, all to the hair, all the way from the outer rim, all the way to the hair. It's connected, and the hair's turning, and it moves the whole rim from a hair. And it can still move, can't you? And there's a lot of power in it, isn't there? I remember my teacher saying to me one day that the power that drives the whole of this planet, the energy that drives the whole of this planet and everything on it and all the animals and everything else and nature and everything else that's on it is driven by the power of a hair thickness from heaven. A hair thickness of energy, is heaven's energy, drives the whole planet. Well, you just got a feeling of what it feels like to have a hair driving the rotation. Very cool. Good. And then bring it back in, bring the rim back into, so it's actually touching your body. So the rim's around your body again. Take away the center column. Just have the rim. And what I want you to do is move you and the rim and you connected, take away the center column so it's not there, and then just turn from side to side and feel what it feels like. Now feel what it feels like. A very different thing, yeah? How much freedom's in that? How effortless is that? Isn't that a beautiful feeling, eh? Just doing nothing and it's just rotating by itself. And it's effortless. There's a smoothness inside that. And nothing's engaging. Very cool. So that whole class was just so you could have this experience of what you're doing right now. So you could feel what it feels like to have this effortless movement inside your body without you having to do it. Just so you get this experience. Very cool. Now, I encourage you after this class, go for a walk. If you can, or walk around the house and just feel how different your body feels when you're walking and how different you feel energetically. Yeah. Send me an email or a message if you like and tell me how you're feeling. be good. It's not only changed the way you feel, but it's changed the way it's going on in your head as well. But that's okay. That's what we're here for. And for everybody, thank you for coming to class. And I'll see you, some of you, on Monday. Yep. We see you all on Monday. Be cool. And have a great weekend, eh? Float around the universe in that little sucker. Very cool. Don't you like having energetic experiences? Aren't they fantastic? Cool. Very cool. And step back, bow to each other.